fabulous friends, and Happy New Year's, Happy Holidays. Hopefully you've had a fantastic time with family, friends, however you choose to celebrate, or if you celebrate it at all. Hopefully you've just had a really great time. You've been well and looking forward to the year ahead. So I'm starting off with what some people call like cheater albums, but I choose to look at these as just a little bit faster way of putting together an album. So if you are in a pinch or you want to have an option to add and remove pages kind of maybe as you go, maybe more adding than removing, then these binders are a really excellent way to go. So this is a snap binder. Excuse the hair. Actually, it's fur. It's a snap binder from Simple Stories. And I have started, I was kind of messing around with it. So what you get when you get a snap binder is you get a few of the clear pages that you can add pictures to. I'm looking for one because, of course, I didn't use them all, but of course now I can't find them. Oh, that's because they're over here. All right. So you get a few of these. So you get ones that are a full 6x8. They will handle a full 6x8, which also makes the 6x8 paper pads a really, really excellent choice. I've used a combination of the 6x8 paper pads as well as the 12x12 collection kit. So we have this one that is a full sheet. We have this one that has the seal across it, so you can put a 4x6 at the bottom as well as the top. And then we have these ones which has a 4x6 at the bottom and then two 3x4s at the top. Actually, it's 6x4, not 4x6. Anyhow, there are other options where you can get ones that are 4 of the 3x4, and I think that's the only other option. But what I'm going to show you today is how to kind of use these creatively. And just because you get these in your binder, you also get some other pages, which I'm not really using. I'm using one of them today, but I'm not using the rest just because I found it a bit more challenging maybe to kind of figure it out. So you got, I've received some of these. There's 4 of those in total. One of them I cut in half, so I'll be using that for another project. You've got another 4 pages that are white. So we've got those ones. This one I folded in half to create a pocket. But again, not really using it today. But I am using one of them. We'll get to it in a little bit. It has the little dots on it. So you do get a lot. And then you also get dividers. You get 3 dividers. Okay, so before this falls off my lap, I'm going to put this away. And in step 1, I'm just going to go through really quickly, or I should say in video number 1, I'm just going to go through really quickly kind of paper sizes, where they go, and how we can expand on these. Because if you think that they're just, you can just use them for just a simple 6x4, whether it's a cut apart or a photo, same thing with these. I'm going to show you how you can kind of expand on that a little bit. So I've already gone ahead. I've cut all my pieces. All of my designer paper has been inked. I put on all of the dividers. I couldn't remember what the word was. I just used it. So on all of the dividers, we have just a straight sheet from the 6x8 paper pad. I'm using the vintage Weather Garden, Simple Vintage Weathered Garden. Thanks. So I just grabbed 3 of the 6x8 that had either a nice saying on it. So there's Life is Sweeter with You, Humbled and Grateful. And then in the middle, I just use this beautiful heart made of flowers and leaves. And then on the back sides of each of these, I created pockets. And so what I did for the pocket pages is, again, just used a full 6x8 or 6x8. And then I cut strips that were 6x2. No, 6x1 3/4, because I had leftovers. And although my original design was a 2-inch, I went with 1 3/4 because I had a lot of the extra that it was going to work. So it was 6x3, I think was a strip. No, sorry, 6x3.5. And so that divided in 2 would give me 2 pieces that were 6x1 3/4. So that's how that happened. I used the cut aparts, and for the cut aparts, all I did with these ones is I used my fancy chomper to give me an angle cut. If you don't have one of these crocodile doodads to give you that angled cut, then you can simply use a cutting mat, which I got a new one for Christmas, but it's of course downstairs. And I have another one down here. Okay. So really small, handy dandy. So if you place your cut apart at the corner, so obviously without having this being cut, let's say I use the bottom part, I just put it slightly away so I can still see the marks on the top and the bottom. And because these are going by 1/8, I believe, or 1/16. No, it goes by 1/8. You can cut as much off there as you want. I try to, as a rule, keep it within, here it's 3/8 of an inches that I'm going from at the top and the side. So I could just take my, you can take a pen or pencil and a ruler and mark it, and then just cut it with scissors. If you happen to have an X-Acto blade or something like that, a craft knife, you could also do that. And I just try to make sure that I'm not cutting too much into, some of the patterns are really pretty and sometimes they come up a little bit higher. So I just wanted to make sure that I didn't cut any of that off. So that's what I used. I haven't yet put on the twine, but I will have some baker's twine that goes up in the circle. So they are really easy to pull apart. So that is an example of what I've done for the dividers. Of course, you don't have to do this. The pockets are just glued down on 3 sides, and that's that. That's how that has turned out. So I'm going to get to some of the other pages. So I'm going to put this aside for right now and show you some of the pages. Now, I have lost my I think it was a 1/4 inch hole punch, and I realized that punching with the smaller holes it just doesn't work well. It barely fits on the 3 rings, so I'm going to have to come back and kind of punch those again, which is fine, but it's still not going to stop me from going ahead and showing you the project. So for page number 1, we have one of our cut aparts, and this is 4x4. I have a designer page. I had to paper clip them kind of where they were going, because having 10 pages of stuff, I wasn't remembering what went where. So, and I'm sure from the time that I actually designed this book to now, each page has probably evolved because I can't remember where things go. So, so this was one of the cut aparts. It had a nice little border, but the border wasn't going to fit here. And I thought this was a perfect place to do a little bit of journaling, and that would go nicely with the pictures that would go here. And here I've left empty. So the base of this is 12 by 8 and 3/8. So 12 by 8 and 3/8. And then we have scored this at 6 and at 9 across the 12-inch side. Okay, so that is that. This ended up being a strip that is 2 inches by 7. And that fits quite nicely here. If you wanted to cut your own just white paper or colored paper, then you could totally do that. And then I have 2 photo mats here, and the top one is 4 by 3 and the bottom one is 4 by 4. And then when you flip it around, so this is going to be, this is, you know, an additional page, which also, you know, hopefully shows you and gives you inspiration that you don't necessarily have to use all of the products that are included in the binder. If you wanted to add, this is certainly one way that you could add. And so maybe in each section you have a couple of these pages, a couple of the plastic sleeves, and a couple of the extra, you know, pattern paper that they give you. So this is what this looks like. So I've just simply folded on the 6 and folded that in half, and then I came back and folded that to give me a little bit of a flap. So basically this piece will go here, and then we'll have some of the pictures on underneath, as well as the writing on the inside. And then on the back, we just have a space for a photo mat that is 4.5 by 6.5. And of course, this collection also comes, if you get the 12 by 12 collector's collection kit, then it's, how can you tell it's been a while? If you get the 12 by 12 collection kit, then you also get a sheet of stickers, of the cardstock stickers. As well, there are some little bits and pieces. There's flower bits and pieces as far as the ephemera goes. And there is another, I've got them here. I just haven't cracked them open quite yet for this project. So we have the floral bits, so just flowers, as you can see right there. And then we have another pack, which is the bits and pieces. And so there's a lot of sayings, a lot of words, flowers, hearts, that kind of thing. So so this is going to be part of phase 2 when it comes to decorating, once everything is actually in. So the only thing that I haven't done, and I was kind of sitting on the fence about this, is whether or not to ink these edges or not. And I don't think I am. I did do a very light pencil mark when it came to the sizes. And this way, you know, if I decided to give this away, which I probably will, the person getting it knows what size this is. If they decided to use it as a photo mat, then they can put a 4 by 6 on here and it would have a nice little white border. Alternatively, if they wanted to use it as a place to journal and use this more as a journaling book, then you could absolutely erase that. It comes off. It does not leave a mark. Like I said, it was very light pencil lines. So, and I did test it because, of course, I wrote on it before and, you know, maybe made some mistakes. So I'm just going to fast forward a little bit here so I get all this stuff glued down, and I will be right back with you. Okay, so I've left this cut apart for last, just in case you're a little bit newer to crafting or paper crafts. When you do this, you obviously want to make sure that you do not apply glue to the entire backside, that you only do the strip that you will be adhering to this, And so this way the flap can be opened. Now, what you could always do is if you wanted to secure this down, like you got it in the right place, you want to secure it down with a paper clip, just making sure that this is where you want it to be. You could always flip it over, do a light pencil line here, and this way you know what lines to stay within. So just a quick tip or trick for you there. I'm putting my hand on the part where I don't want the glue, and hopefully that is a reminder for myself not to put the glue there. So I'm basically just trying to line this up as much as I possibly can and putting that down there. Okay, so this is page number 1. So quick, easy, even putting together. So this way you're personalizing it a little bit more. So even though you haven't built the album from scratch, it is still perfectly 100% acceptable. And I cannot stress that enough because, you know, hearing that these are a little bit of a cheater album, I understand that you haven't built the album. But for somebody who's maybe just getting into making and creating albums, this is a perfectly acceptable, you know, middle step. And for somebody who does make albums all the time, sometimes it's kind of nice just to come along and just, you know, fill up a book and, you know, see how it goes, see how you can expand on something that's already been given, like, and laid out. Okay. So I'm going to do a full page now. And so what I've decided to do for this one is we're using, again, another full 6x8 sheet. I have a couple of cut aparts. I have a strip that is 6 inches by 1 inch. And then on the back side, we are just going to put another 4.5 by 6.5 inch. What is this called again? Photo mat. Oh my goodness. It is, it's, you know, it's been great. Don't get me wrong. I've had a long extended break. I was away in Florida visiting family. And then, of course, when I came back, then it was kind of go for Christmas. Being that I came back at the end of November, so it's been quite hectic, but it's been good. So what I'm going to do for this bottom piece is I'm only going to glue 3 sides. So either side and then the bottom. Don't need to put a lot of glue here, although I'm pretty sure I will have some seepage there. Okay, so just putting it on the 3 sides then creates a really quick and easy pocket. Generally speaking, not always what I do for pockets, but it is super quick and easy. And since this is going to go into one of the plastic pockets, I feel like it's totally fine. So we can put that in there, another one in here. And then you have a super quick and easy pocket page. I guess we can call it a pocket page. And of course, when I do the designer bit, I'm going to have to come back and put the twine on those. But that's how that will look. Okay. Now, flipping kind of through here. I was kind of looking for, okay, here is one of the other pages, page number 3. And this is the 2 of the 6x4. So this is the one where we have 2 to put in. But what I'm doing here is this one extends over. So this will have an additional flap. And then for this one, we are just going to stick a little, one of the cut aparts in kind of another pocket. So I'm going to take these out and we'll do this one first. So hopefully I don't forget. Okay, perfect. So this one is a 6x4 cut apart out of the 12x12 collection kit. This is a 4x4 from the same collection kit. And then we have a page with a bunch of cut aparts in the 12x12, and I'll be using this as well. So again, could be used to do some journaling. So I'm going to make sure that I have this face up. I am going to just simply, you know what, just so that I don't get my fingers, I'm doing each side, the left and right. I'm just holding it at the top right now. And then I am going to, okay, doing it that way is obviously not my friend. Okay, I've got a little bit more glue on the bottom than I would normally have liked, but we'll manage for sure. Okay. So, and of course, these are just, again, it's all optional. You can choose to do that to make the pockets if you want. If you wanted to leave it open, then that's perfectly fine. It would just look equally as beautiful. And then I didn't cut the sides on this. It's not quite a tag, so I just felt like I wanted to leave it like that, and that's where this is going to live. And we have a really nice pretty picture on one side and then a nice quick little pocket on the other. This is where a lot of the pictures are going to reside. So I've got 2 of the photo mats on the front cover and then on the inside flap. These are 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And then I've got one at the bottom, which is 5 1/2 by 3 1/2. So because the inserts, the space is to fit a 6x4, that if you wanted to include a 6x4 picture, then it would completely cover from side to top and bottom. So I decided to go with a, and with people being able to print their pictures at home now, even online, I feel like you can always trim the picture if it's a 6x4, or if you wanted to print it, you could always print it in a different size. So that's why we're doing some pretty unusual, I guess. If you're older, it was always like what a 2 1/2 by 3 or 2 1/2 by 3 1/2 or 3x4, and there was the 4x6, and there was a 5x7, and then 8x11 or something like that. Anyways, so this is where these are going to go. Okay, so all of my photo mats are in place. This particular piece of designer paper is 6x8, and we have scored this piece at 4 1/4. So this way that gives it enough spot. It clears the top part of where it's going to fold, like where it's going to slide in. There's enough clearance there that it's not catching the plastic. And then on the back side of this, we are going to be putting 2 tags, and our photo mat again is going to be creating a pocket so that the photo tag, or the tags, the cut aparts, can fit in there. And this is another photo mat that is 5 1/2 by 3 1/2. Oh my goodness. I did exactly what I thought I might do at some point. So I'm going to have to quickly cut myself because I don't think I have any more already cut. Okay, so just quickly going to put on here 5 1/2 by 3 1/2. And remember, sides. I got to talking and got distracted. And bottom. Okay. So now we're going to put this down. I'm going to put it more towards the bottom because it's going to have the tags at the top. Make sure I've got no glue on my hands. Let's press down. And so these two tags are going to fit in there really nicely. And we're going to have the space to fit that in, which is why actually, oh no, that I think will work. Okay. So we've got this down there. And I'm going to put this one like this. So we have our two 6x4 placements, but we've kind of given ourselves more space for lots of fun little details. You know what? Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay, so so that is how you can kind of elaborate on the 6x4. And then, although I've got more pages and we'll definitely be going through them, this is the next kind of option that you have in terms of layouts for the plastic sleeves. Okay, so for this one, doing something fairly simple at the bottom, which is I cut this from one of the 6x8 sheets with the focus on the Life is Sweeter with You. And then I have a 5.5 by 3.5 photo mat, which is just going to lay flat down. If you wanted to use, obviously, if you wanted to have a photo mat, wanted to have more of the butterfly paper showing, then you could definitely cut this down, do whatever size you wanted to do, because this is just going to be a quick and easy. I often can't remember if it's on this side or the other side. And then what I did for the top part, the top little cards, something similar to what I did on just the previous one. So I've added little flaps here, and they just flap out on different sides. And then I also have a tag that is going in each pocket as well. So for this pocket, we have a tag, the 3x4 tag. And then this piece is 3 by 8, and that's scored at, just want to make sure I'm giving you the right measurements. It's scored at 4 1/4. So not quite in half, but again, we just wanted to make sure that we give ourselves the clearance. And you can put the photo mats for this one. You can totally fill it if you wanted to. I'm just going to put a quick little photo mat on the inside here. So that is 2.5 by 3.5. You could easily put another one at the top, and I might cut it down. 2.5 wide is obviously perfectly fine. I would probably do 3 1/4 instead, just because the bottom and the top parts are not exactly equal, but a 3.5 will totally fit. You just won't have a border that is that has a similar width, and at the top and the bottom I've tried to center it as much as I possibly can. And so that is what those look like. So I'm going to put this in like so. Okay, and then I'm just going to finish up the second one. So this one again, I have a cut apart that I've turned into a tag. I've got the exact same measurements on my base with the designer paper, as well as, because the photo mat is going in the exact same spot. This too is 2.5 by 3.5. So, and I'm going to put that there, and we're going to slide this in. So again, hopefully this is giving you some kind of, so it's giving you some inspiration to, you know, how these can be used in different ways, and not just your standard, you know, just because the pocket is a specific size doesn't just mean that that's what you have to put in there. So, and for this one, I just did something really simple. I did a 4x6 tag on the bottom with a photo mat on the back side, and on the tags on the back of each tag, I've put a 2.5 by 3 photo mat for this one. Let's see what other, looking to see if we have any other kind of plain Jane. This was done very similarly to one of the other ones we looked at. I just put this with the flap on the bottom the last time, and it at the bottom is going to also have a cute little pocket here created by the 4x4. So at the bottom I have a 6x4 cut apart. I want to say that this is a 4, it's not, this must be from the cut apart page then, because usually it's a 4x4. Sorry. Yeah, usually there's a sheet with the 4x4s. This is a 3.5 by 4. So that's going to fit right there. And I'm going to glue just on 3 sides again to create a pocket so I can put a tag in there. So that's going to go at the bottom, and then on the top we are going to have I'm creating a pocket with this. I'll glue this one down for you so you can kind of see it. So I've got 2 tags for this one. I have 2 of these photo mats that are 5.5 by 3.5. I have 2 photo mats that are 3.25 by 3.25. And then our final page, all of the instructions, but all of the measurements, more importantly, are all going to be listed in the description box below. So this one is 6 by 8. And again, we've scored this at 4.25 from the bottom. That was one thing I should have mentioned before, is I measured this 4.25 from the bottom to do our score line. So again, because I'm putting this back one and I'm only doing a pocket, I'm going to just put glue on either side and then at the bottom. I'm going to push this one a little bit closer to the bottom just so that we have lots of room for our tags at the top. And then our 2 tags will go in like so. And then this will fit in the top like that. And then this I will put I know I've got other tags. They're all over the place, I feel like. So I may not have another tag, but I could always make another tag with some of the cut aparts, with some of the designer paper, put a few of these cute little ephemera bits, and you are raring to go. Oh, Lord. Can't get it underneath. There we go. So that is another page done. Okay, this one again is another fairly simple one, but it's one of the larger ones. I have this one, and I think I've got another one. This one is a little bit more, has got a little bit more going on. So I'm going to do this one first, just because hopefully I won't forget how this goes. Hopefully. Okay, so bits there, got bits everywhere. So I'll just go through some of the measurements for you. So yes, I'm aware that this butterfly is upside down, but since it's going to be covered with this piece, I'm not so worried about it. If you are going to have this a little bit more open, or it's going to be a little bit more obvious, like if it were this butterfly paper, then you maybe want to make sure, choose another paper and make sure that whether it's, you know, that it's non-directional, basically is what I'm trying to get at. So this sheet is 6 by 12. Yep, 6 by 12. And then I have scored it from the bottom. I have scored it at 3.5. So this way we give enough clearance that this can pop out of the top of the plastic sleeve and fold over without being, you know, there's no obstruction there. Then I also have a piece of designer paper, and this is 4.5 by 6.5. We have one of our cut aparts that is 4 by 6, and that will lay on top there. This is going to go on the back side. So my picture, because it's got some cute little butterflies on it, I did want to put a space for, again, a bit of journaling. So these pieces are, the polka dot one is 3.5 by 6. This was one of the cut aparts from one of the larger cut apart pages, and it's 3 by 5.5. Yeah, 3 by 5.5. And then I have a couple of these striped strips, and that is going to be 6 by 3/4. And then we have this piece that is 3.5 by 3/4. And just one photo mat for this one, and this one is measuring 4 by 6. Is it measuring 4 by 6 though? No, sorry, 4.5 by 6.5. There's a reason why I did 4.5 by 6.5, and this way it'll fit behind this guy. I am going to erase that. So you see, it doesn't show at all because I am being very light with the pencil markings. Okay, so those are all of our pieces, and this is how it's going to go together. So first things first, I'm going to layer my 4 by 6 cut apart onto the decorative mat that I've cut for it. So that's going to lay it up like this. This is going to go on the top. So obviously I'm not going to put glue past here. So if you wanted to, you could always just flip it over. Give yourself a bit of a pencil mark so as not to go past. If you wanted to do a line, you could certainly do a line as well. So I am going to keep it here so I don't have too much glue leaking out. I'm going to try and get this as centered as I possibly can. Okay. This strip, oh boy, now it's fallen. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that right now. So this one is going to go here, but a little bit on the top side, because this is going to be kind of like hidden in behind the decorative backing, the striped decorative backing that I put on there. So we're going to have to finagle it a little bit once it's down. But, my word, running off the rails here. But because I'm using liquid glue, I wonder if I can do this way and just kind of line it up here. I feel like I'm still going to have to finagle it a little bit. Gives me well, that was okay. That worked better than expected. Just trying to finagle it in a little bit more. That's okay, that works. It's a very limited window to work with, even liquid glue, to work with it. Whoops, I just backed up into something. My craft space studio is quite the mess right now. And then I'm going to put this little strip right at the bottom just to make it not seem quite as off-centered as it would be once that flap is open. But you've got a lot of beautiful paper there, so I don't feel like it's obvious really, with the paper being, the butterfly is extending all the way past. You could easily put another little a photo mat up there. I'm kind of thinking about it now. Now that it's attached, it's 4.5. 4.5. So if I do that at 4, yep, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. 4. See, so there's things that you can do on the fly, you know, as you put the album together. Some things you'll plan for and, you know, obviously make sure they fit and they work. That's very, very important. 4 by 3. 4 by 3. Fits really nicely right there. There we go. And then we're just going to work on the back side. So for the back side, I'm going to move this piece. I'm going to just simply layer this up. And I cannot, for the life of me, remember what this other little piece was for. See, I told you, like, I just cut the pieces out and even referred back to my notes, which are usually a little bit more clear than they were. I'm going to off-center this a bit. I can't for the life of me remember where this little guy went. I think perhaps I had thought about maybe doing 2 and was going to put this in the middle, like doing 2 pictures instead of a large one. But I noticed that I don't really have a lot of large photos. I mean, you have the 5.5 by 3, but if you were a little bit more traditional and wanted to do the 4.5 or the 4 by 6, then you could easily have that there. So I'm just going to set that piece aside. It'll get used in another project probably, possibly even this one. So this one will fit in like so. So you have your lovely front, but then it flips open without having to take it out of the plastic sleeve. Okay, so we've got a few more left, and that will be it for this part 1. And then when we do part 2, it may be more of like a final walkthrough, because part 2 is simply going to be putting in the ephemera so I can run through easily and give you what new things were done. So this one is just a super simple full pocket, you know, the full 6 6x8. I had to stop there for a second. So again, I did another really large 4.5 by 6.5 here at the top. I will be putting a 4x4 cut apart at the top to create a pocket. So we of course have a tag. I've got a 5.5 by 3.5 photo mat. This is just your standard 6x8 designer paper from the pad. And then of course we have our 4.5 by 6.5 mat. So I'm going to do that one first. Now when I'm laying this one out, I just want to make sure that I'm putting things roughly where I want them. So I'm going to leave the 4x4 piece there. Just to give me an idea. I don't want to have them look too crowded or crammed. So I'm going to put this photo mat a little bit lower. And that way that gives this one plenty of room. Okay, and then the last two that we have are ones that I've kind of designed myself. One using one of the pages that comes with the album. And then I cut this sheet right here, the one with the polka dots, little dots, is one that was the 6x8, but then I cut it down. So I'm going to take this off. This was, again, one of those pages that when I came to it, I was like, I don't know what I was thinking, but I think I ultimately got it figured out. So this, what came with the kit, I cut it down to 4.5. I didn't do anything to the height, just to the width. So cut that down to 4.5. And then each of these are identical. So I've got 2 of these where I have 2 of the cut aparts turned into tags. And then for each of these, I have 3 photo mats that are 2.5 by 3. So for one of these, I've got 3 of the photo mats. So you're going to need 6 of the photo mats in total. And then I've got the little pocket book. And this is 6 by 3.5 folded in half at 3 inches. So what we're going to do with these is we're going to first line up all of our photo mats. So I'm going to put 2 on the inside and I'm going to put 1 on the outside. Okay, and then this is going to be applied to here, but we're going to only glue the top, the bottom, and the left-hand side to create a pocket for our tag. So that's how that's going to go. I'm just going to put together this one first to make sure that I'm spacing them correctly. Okay, so now we're going to get to applying our glue just to the top, the bottom, and the left-hand side. Sorry, I'm gonna hopefully not get my head in there because I like where that is. And then that will slide. I was like, or at least that's the idea. That's why you want to keep it kind of tight to when you're putting down your glue for this one, you really want to keep it close to the outside as possible, because then a 3-inch tag may not work if you, well, especially if you glue that shut, because that I'm gluing the right side down, not the left side. Okay, so, no, oh my goodness. Putting the glue, my fingers in all of the glue today. All of the glue. It's getting on my fingers. Okay, so press that down, move some of that off, and the tag. Now, I kind of glued, I didn't glue the tag in, but there we go. It's a little trickier, the top one, for whatever reason. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. So that is the top page where we've got our two little flaps that will fold open. And then on the back side, we are going to be putting this, as well as a photo mat. I'm not sure why I cut this paper out. I really have no idea why I have this. I think this maybe was supposed to come out a little bit further, but I know it's got writing on one side. So I think... yeah, I think that's about as far as I'm wanting to go, is kind of where those tags are. I'm lining up this end with the tags. So I think this piece now initially was going to come out further, so I was going to have a piece there, but I'm going to set that one aside for right now. I'm going to layer this. Perfect. And so this is what this page, kind of like a little mini page to go in, is going to look like. And now we have our last one. Whoopsie. Hopefully I remember where that cut apart goes. Okay, so this one is another larger one that I put together myself. And how this is going to work is we're going to have a couple of the photo mats on the inside. We're going to have one on the outside with, I cannot remember where this was going. Oh, this was going on the inside. This was just going to be like a little tag that we won't obviously glue down on all four sides, that we're just going to glue down a little bit to create somewhat of a pocket, so that if the person receiving this wants to put in a photo, they can tuck in that corner on the top and the bottom photos. And then, yeah, this one is going to go on the outside like that. So I'm going to lay all of this down first. This, maybe I should go through the sizes again. So 1 by, it's got to be by 8. Yeah, 1 by 8 for this strip that's going to go along this side. I will need to punch a hole on this side. So I got to keep that in mind when putting down the photo mats, that I don't put them too close to the side. Then the 3 photo mats that you see here are all 5 by 3.5. 5 by 3.5. This one, obviously, because of the orientation, is 3.5 by 5. We have a little cut apart here that is 1 5/8 by 2 3/8. And then our large piece is 12 by, I want to say 8. Yeah, 12 by 8. And then on from the left side, so on the 12-inch side, you're going to score it at 7.5. Okay, so when it comes down to gluing this little bit, and I just figured nice little area where you could do some, a little bit of writing. So this way, when somebody goes to put in a picture, it will slide in that way, and it will slide in this way with a lot of, but this will be secure. So I'm super happy with that. Okay, and you know what, on this one, I think I'm going to put this one on the inside. I could have made it taller, but I couldn't have made it really any wider. So the top and the bottom, I feel like we're going to do some ephemera work there. Same thing on the outside. So this one, we're just going to do our best to get as close to in the middle as possible. But like I said, the ephemera is really going to not detract from it, but it's going to make it not be as noticeable. Oh my word. Okay, so these ones, I'm going to hug these ones over to the side a little bit more to the left side than to the right, because remember, we're going to need to put some holes in here, and I feel like they're going to come in maybe about a 3/4 of an inch to an inch, depending. So I'm going to, I would probably recommend that you put your holes in now before you put your photo mats in. But since I am now going to have to procure another 4 1/4 inch hole punch, I brought mine to a craft market, and I do not know what happened to it. Mind you, there's still one last bag that it could be in. So again, putting these here, I could always do the same thing as what I did on the other side, but that hides quite a bit of the potential picture area. So that is the very last page for us tonight. And if I didn't mention that these 2 photo mats are 5 by 3.5 as well. So on this one page, we have 5 photo mats that are all 5 by 3.5. And of course, you can always change those up a little bit if you wanted. This flap really couldn't have been any longer if I wanted to have it in one piece. But if you wanted to add another piece to it, or have this flap just be a separate page that was joined maybe by some washi tape or what have you, then you could have made this into potentially like a 4.5 by 6.5 photo mat. So their options truly are endless when it comes to playing around with the snap albums. So I will have, hopefully we'll have the second part to this posted within the next day or so I don't allow too much time going by. Then the next project that I am working on is another album, surprise, surprise. And that will be a complete process video for this beautiful baby album. I'm using different paper the next time, but this album has a page for absolutely every month, as well as these cute flip pockets, I think is what I called them. And so each of the flip pockets also holds 4 tags. So you've got 4 tags and you've got a page per month. And this is basically kind of what it looks like. And so I'll be going through an entire process video with the exception of doing the cover. The cover is just like a lay flat cover, which I have posted previously. I want to say it was probably September, October, maybe November, probably not, probably October. Anyways, I'll link that. It'll be up in the right hand corner as I speak. So, and I will make reference to it, obviously, when I make this process video. Sorry about that. Ooh, got a frog in my throat. Anyhow, I am super, super happy to be back. I cannot wait for all the fun, the crafting, the projects that we have planned for 2023. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video and found it useful, helpful, inspiring in some way, shape, or form. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to put those in the comments below. I answer every single one of them. If you have not already subscribed to my channel and have gotten this far, please consider subscribing so you don't miss any future videos. And I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hopefully you have a fabulous day and you stay safe and well. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.